3 to Zion, and then a little bit further on to Kanab for the night. I had read about Kolob Terrace online and was a little concerned that this road might be a little too much for me. So despite all these concerns, I went for it. Along the way, I caught up with a few well-equipped trucks, saw some purpose-built off-road rigs, and even some dirt bikes. I was starting to wonder if maybe this was a serious off-road trail and I wouldn't be able to make it, but I saw a couple minivans and compact rental cars too, so figured I was okay. The road was actually under construction, which made it a little more interesting in a few places, but it wasn't so terrible after all. Climbing several hundred feet up to the reservoir brought the temperature back down to tolerable. I sat there on the dock and eating my lunch, dipping my feet in the water, and it was just a great time. After lunch, it was time to go back down. On the map there was another corner of Zion to visit and headed off to Kolob Canyon. First I needed some gas, so into town I pulled into a gas station, saw a couple other guys on motorcycles. We chatted a bit about the weather and they were saying, oh, it's got to be close to 50 degrees, eh? 50 degrees? No, it's like over 100. Oh wait, yeah, eh? They had a bit of an accent. I got the rest of their story about them buying bikes on a business trip to LA, and here they were headed back to Canada. Sounds like a great business trip. They were headed into the park. I had warned them that traffic was really slow there. They said like, well, you mean like 15 to 20? I said more like 5 to 10. And they made a few comments and sounded really concerned about overheating despite their brand new BMW K machines. A little while later I was thinking back to that conversation and figured we probably had a misconception of units again. I was saying 5 to 10 miles per hour and they heard 5 to 10 kilometers per hour probably. On the way to Kolob Canyon I stumbled upon Torkerville. Just long days in the helmet, you think of weird things. I didn't know Miley Cyrus was from Utah, but found a sign that informed me about Torker was the Native American word for black, and there was a lot of black rocks in the area. So it was kind of cool to get some surrounding history. When I got to the Kolob Canyon entrance, I found another couple that was headed to the sign to get their picture in front of the sign and did the same, trading favors for each other, taking pictures. Then it was on to the terrace drive. I found there was very few people here. Felt like I was flying up the mountain with great sights in the background. At the top, the sun was hitting the main attraction perfectly, made for a great view. I was just getting on the bike, ready to head back out, when a huge tour bus pulled up and a bunch of people came pouring out. I felt very lucky my timing was this good. I still had plenty of time before I had to check in to my Airbnb, so I went out and explored some of those back roads. Really enjoyed myself. It was tough to keep my enthusiasm down, even with the plenty of signs warning about wildlife. Had I been more relaxed, there would be a lot more pictures here, including some sign that said something like $20,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of persons involved with shooting or stealing sheep. But I just passed a car, not so graciously, and I didn't want to give the driver an opportunity to get ahead of me again and further annoy me, so I didn't stop and get that photo. Sorry. Plus, I was also thinking this is time to ride, not for stopping for pictures every few minutes. I was really enjoying it. I got through these fun back road twisties unscathed, and there was still some time, so I headed back to the main drag in Zion again, visiting the entrance. This time there was a lot less people around and the temperatures had dropped, so it was really nice. The sun was low and hitting the canyon walls. It was just a world of difference. On the way back out, there was a small traffic jam due to a few pronghorn sheep. Traffic nudged forward, and when I eased on the throttle, the sheep turned and looked at me. I thought, uh-oh, I've seen a few YouTube videos. I don't want to be making that kind of a video. So eventually there was a small break in the traffic and I got through there quick. As I was going through the back roads, the sun was illuminating the rocks again, and it was just wonderful. It was awesome. I couldn't get any better. It was the end of a somewhat long day, and according to my ritual, I had the tunes going and surreptitiously stumbled upon some awesome sight and sound pairing. I'd often thought about riding the Blue Ridge Parkway while listening to Copeland and the Appalachian Spring Symphony, but hadn't thought of anything particular about this trip. What songs would you play on this trip? I just had a regular playlist going. But there I was, riding my steel steed through the Great West, and I heard Anastasio Del Oro, The Good and the Bad, the Ugly theme. It was awesome. Pulled into this little town of Kanab, and when I'd been previewing things on the map, it looked like it was in the middle of nowhere. But there was quite a bit of activity here on the main drag. I got situated in my room for the night, got some recommendations for dinner, and headed out on town. There's quite a bit of a wait at the restaurant suggested, which almost had me looking for another place, but I figured if it was so popular, it must be worth it, right? So I waited around and had a nice meal. Similar to yesterday, my fluid intake was good throughout the day, but I was kind of getting sick of that water again. So here, when my chicken fried steak showed up, I salted the heck out of it. Also poured a bunch of salt on the potato and the mac and cheese, and it just kind of rejuvenated me. It was great. Back to the Airbnb place for the night. I chatted with the owner for quite a while. Even had a sarsaparilla at the bar there. Even though I had spent all day in the saddle, I had to try one of their saddles just to add to that out west experience. The plan today had been 300 miles to get to Zion. Now, looking back and tallying it up, there was 550 miles on the day, and it was an awesome day. Making those previous days of Super Slab totally worth it. I only had 500 miles left, and it didn't seem like much anymore. So I was pretty excited to get there and make the reveal. Stay tuned.